Hi everyone, welcome back to the channel. I am Jake, this is Nadia. Today we're talking about a very special movie. We're talking about the rebirth of the Jurassic World franchise, which crashed and burned with Jurassic World Dominion. Or so I've heard. I never saw Jurassic World Dominion. Did you?
No.
So that's our level of understanding going into this film, but I think that's good. I saw Jurassic World, the first one.
You showed it to me.
Yeah. No, I didn't.
Yes, I did.
I showed you Jurassic Park.
Oh, but I think I watched Jurassic World before.
I love the Jurassic Park movies, all three of those first ones, even 2 and 3, which aren't the best movies, but they're fun dinosaur movies. Jurassic World, I enjoyed. I remember when it came out and I saw it twice in theaters, and the second time I watched it, I was like, why did I enjoy this? I don't think it's a very good movie. And then I just didn't bother seeing Fallen Kingdom or Dominion. Now, they are relaunching Jurassic World. A new director, Gareth Edwards, who directed Rogue One. He directed Creator and Godzilla. And we're bringing back David Koepp, who wrote the screenplay for Jurassic Park. There is so much to talk about. So curious to hear your thoughts. It's getting kind of destroyed critically.
Oh, it is?
Well, I think it's at 50% Rotten Tomatoes, so I guess it could be worse. But it seems to be making lots of money, which is why they keep making these. What did you think of this movie?
I have mixed feelings about it. I overall enjoyed it.
Mm-hmm.
I am glad I watched it. I could see, I think that it was overall well made. The CGI, I liked it. You probably have some words to say about CGI, knowing you. I could see your jaws tighten up as soon as I said that too. I thought the beginning was a little bit long, while the middle and towards the end was a little bit short. I thought the movie could have been an hour 45 minutes. It was a fun time. I mean, what are you looking to see? You're not looking to see Oscar winning performances. I don't understand, really. I'm gonna get so much hate for saying that. But I enjoyed it. I mean, it's a fun family friendly-ish movie if you're into your kids watching people be eaten.
This is America. We love that stuff.
It was a little scary at times sometimes for me too, because I'm a scary cat. There were very cute dinosaurs. There were very wholesome moments. It's about these group of people who put themselves in a frankly just kind of greedy, stupid situation. These people are probably gonna die.
Right.
So it's more I wonder who's gonna survive. Scarlett Johansson is one of the main characters. Yeah. Jonathan Bailey.
Jonathan Bailey is the soft-hearted scientist who wants to go on this mission. So their mission is to go collect some samples of blood.
And they have to collect it from live dinosaurs.
They're talking about we're gonna profit so much off of this drug.
We're
gonna sell it to a private company. We'll save lives, but really it's all about making trillions of dollars.
Except for the doctor. The doctor is truly not in it for the money because he's
there to
curious.
help, and he wants to go see the dinosaurs, which this is taking place some years after Jurassic World Dominion, which there's some title cards that are helpful at the beginning of the movie if you're like me and just haven't cared about these films for the past few years. Then it explains that dinosaurs did escape. They're all over the earth, but most have died off, and they just kind of exist along a band of
near the equator.
Near the equator, where certain levels of oxygen have to be right, whatever. Basically, they wrote it so that, dinosaurs are on Earth, but they're in certain areas mostly.
And humans are forbidden to visit
Yes.
those areas.
They explain this over and over and over again in the beginning of the film so that we understand dinosaurs are here, but just along the equator.
I would rate it a 7 out of 10.
Okay.
Because I think it's a good time. All right, just come on. You're making me nervous. Just share your thoughts. I can see you boiling. Right. Non-spoiler section first.
Non-spoilers.
Okay.
I think this movie's getting way too much hate.
What? All right.
I really enjoyed it.
What? What?
I enjoyed it a lot, but there are glaring issues with this screenplay, with certain performances, and with the directing of certain scenes.
Wait. I have to know, what is the rating?
6 out of 10.
His version of I really enjoyed it is 6 out of 10.
It is, yeah.
And you made it sound like you're rating a 9 out of 10.
No, I enjoyed it, and I'll compare it.
So you still rate it lower than me?
Yeah.
All right.
I compare it to the level of enjoyment I get watching the MonsterVerse movies, Godzilla and Kong, Excavation, whatever those movies are titled, but just a monster movie, big monster movie. Gareth Edwards is a director I don't particularly love, but I've got to admit he has an eye for shot composition, for lighting. This movie looks stunning. I think it's the best looking Jurassic Park movie since the original. Apparently it was shot on film. You can tell, like, just the texture, the contrast, the way the light hits everything. It was just gorgeous. I'm watching these terrible exposition scenes with Scarlett Johansson and Mahershala Ali, just some of the worst writing and the thinnest characters, but I'm just going, wow, the way the light's hitting them in that boat is just beautiful. Quality elements of this movie that I just appreciated immediately watching this. Mm-hmm. It's a very formulaic. It sets up the plot simply, and then it creates like a second splitting off movie after the first 30 minutes that it involves a family that gets shipwrecked, and they kind of have to be picked up by this party doing like a secret mission to go get dinosaur blood. Fun, like it was a classic adventure movie once we got through the dull exposition scenes. Scarlett Johansson's character is probably one of the weakest links. Like her character is so flat and boring. Mahershala Ali, Jonathan Bailey, they're all very, very flat characters. Scarlett Johansson and Jonathan Bailey, I think they're supposed to have some kind of sparking like love interest sort of, or have some kind of chemistry. I did not see. It hinted
towards that.
They were really trying that, but there was just no chemistry I could see on screen between those two. Scarlett Johansson is like a bad person. She's like a black ops mercenary who just like does evil stuff for corporations and kills people and everything. And she's like our protagonist, but she's supposed to have some kind of arc that humanizes her, but it was just so painfully stupid and simple. That's just like, duh.
They all have like all these like supposedly bad guys all have like tragic background stories that is like you think they're like bad, they're actually good.
It's just like it is so stupid because there's a scene early on in the movie between Scarlett Johansson and Mahershala Ali where it's just like, yeah, my kid died.
Don't give it away.
Oh, well, this is early in the movie. Anyways, they have exposition scenes that are very, very flat and really just mean very little for the movie. That's just like, we have some semblance of a backstory, so it means we're main characters now. The ones who don't say that they have, you know, a parent who died or something that, or some traumatic thing happened to them, then you know that they're going to get eaten. And that's just the fun simplicity of these movies.
You think so, but there is twist. Like there are people that I thought was going to be eaten that I was like, oh, okay.
And that leads me to the family plot, which I thought was way more engaging and interesting. I actually cared about the dad, you know, taking care of his kids, his daughter's boyfriend. Like it started out kind of stupid because like, why are they out sailing in these waters, dinosaur infested waters? Once they get involved into the story and once the real adventure happens, it's just so fun. It actually reminded me somewhat of King Kong, the 2005 Peter Jackson one, which has a spot in my heart and forever will. I love that movie. And just seeing dinosaurs, the action set pieces, that's where the movie soars. Like as soon as it gets into the action, the way Gareth Edwards shoots these scenes, the tension, the CGI with the practical, it was just shot beautifully and had so much good tension. Like I just loved these dinosaur set pieces. They're some of the best set pieces in the series. Reminded me a lot of Jurassic Park 3, which has a bad script but very fun set pieces. I was just like getting really involved. I was like, man, this is a fun action adventure movie, really stupid, better than just the lifeless nothing that was Jurassic World, you know? It felt like a rebirth for the franchise.
I mean, I disagree with you about the one noted characterization of Scarlett Johansson and the other people, Jonathan Bailey. Yes, they are one noted-ish, but I think they try their best to make it dynamic with their acting. I really see that. I think the problem sometimes is that you've seen Scarlett Johansson, or maybe this is what I think, is that Scarlett Johansson has been in similar type of roles where the description of her character is overall bad, but she tries to humanize it. And there's some conflict within, like Black Widow, for example. So it's a very similar role to other things that she's played, which makes it seem like there's nothing else out there. But I don't think necessarily it's a character in itself. I think it's more so a reflection of like similar roles.
Just felt like, all right, let's get the paycheck.
No, I think that's a cynical
She's like
point of
been
view.
doing the big blockbuster stuff and it's just like familiar, you know, it felt like a familiar role. And
there's nothing wrong with that. I disagree.
All
right, so would you recommend it then?
I would recommend it.
Yeah,
you know,
too.
It's honestly a fun time. I don't think like it's not offensively bad. It's passable, it's serviceable, and it's a fun time with some great set pieces, dinosaur action. Like, come on.
All right, so let's get into my favorite part of these review, which is the spoiler, because I love to spoil. 3, 2, 1, spoiler. All right, so my favorite part was the little girl. I thought she was going to be a little evil in the beginning.
Why? Wait, hold on. You thought the little kid was going to be evil?
I don't know, because she was like, I wish the dinosaurs never came back, And I was like, what a rude little
She's
girl.
scared of them. I mean, come on.
But
Her
then
dad
she
is taking
ends
them
up
out
like
into...
befriending and taking home a little tiny dinosaur. I was worried about the dinosaur because I'm like, girl, isn't he not supposed to go outside because of like something with the oxygen?
The whole thing with the kids, I was just like...
There is a little logic flaw
Maybe
there
it's-
because I'm like, probably in a safer area, you're taking the dinosaur into a more... Like, I was just so worried about the little freaking dinosaur more than the humans, to be honest with you. It was just like a little dinosaur. I also loved the wholesome moment with like the plant-eating dinosaurs that were just like hugging each other and while they were getting the second blood, and such a wholesome moment.
It was fine. It just felt very like, all right, we're doing the first one. We have the feeling of awe, but it's like, I feel like it just didn't really earn it.
I felt like it 100% earned it because all you see is scary dinosaurs. It's like all about survival, and then you see these different sets of dinosaurs that are all wholesome. They're all like really caring and loving towards one another. So I thought it was very earned. It made them more dynamic. They're not just these monsters, or they're not monsters at all. They're just a lot of like humans, Some are good, some are bad. It's just like it characterizes them more and makes it more of their world. And also like I love that moment with the boyfriend where he's peeing.
That was
and
fun,
then and then he's peeing or whatever. And then of course the other dinosaur eats the other dinosaur. And then the boyfriend like is like, oh shit. And pees. I'm like, well, he would have peed his pants if he wasn't already peeing.
That was a good bit.
When I saw the film, I was like, oh yeah, that boyfriend is gonna die because he's characterized as this lazy guy who looks completely like an asshole, doesn't care,
Yeah.
When
he has the biggest character arc.
Yeah, exactly. Very dynamic. And then the daughter falls, quote unquote, in the ocean. Then he jumps after her without even a second thought. And then it's like, oh, okay. Don't die. Survive.
Yeah.
Scarlett Johansson has a change of heart where she wants to now open source the...
And why does she have a change of heart? Just because she does.
She has a change of heart for many reasons. I think she was already doubting things. You could see the conflict in the beginning, I think that Jonathan Bailey I think it was earned.
I don't think it was earned at all.
No, I liked it. The four people, the dad, the two daughters, and then the boyfriend all survived at the end.
Well, I was kind of thinking
dinosaur.
like, you can't let any of the family die. Like if you did, who would it be? I was thinking maybe the dad would die, but
I thought it'd be interesting if the older daughter died, and then
That
the
could be
dad would
interesting.
have to like basically, be a surrogate dad to the boyfriend, as like they both lost this person.
yeah, that could have worked. Yeah, I mean, there's some way to, but I'm glad they didn't because then it gets too heavy.
Sorry.
What is the deal with the product placement in this movie?
Snickers?
Starts out with Snickers bar.
Well, I was like, who sponsored this film?
Snickers bar, there's Doritos on a pivotal scene. I mean, it is very distracting. Like the climax of the movie, they're basically recreating the velociraptors in the kitchen scene in the first one, but in like a convenience store on the island, are hiding behind this big wall, and it's just, you see perfectly framed all the Lay's bags, all the same company but different brands of chips.
I liked it. I thought it was really
It's like
funny.
I was like, I need some chips right now.
I thought it was really funny. Maybe it was distracting to you because you were hungry.
Maybe no, but it is. I don't think the product placement was done well. It reminded me of that.
I
scene.
thought the Snickers bar was done extremely well.
It reminded me of that scene in Godzilla and Kong: The New Empire that people were making fun of, where it just cuts to a wide shot of this like perfectly framed like Toyota car, like brand new, and it looked like out of an ad after like an emotional scene. I do feel, because I know that these companies have like strict mandates of how their products need to be filmed and etc.
Yeah.
Speaking of strict mandates, how much did David Koepp actually work on this script? I'm really curious. I really like David Koepp as a writer. He's recently collaborated with Steven Soderbergh. It made me wonder, like, were there other writers that came in? Because I know that's what Hollywood does all the time. It's very unlikely that he was the sole writer on this, even though he's getting sole credit. It was not a very good script. It was very formulaic. The dialogue was pretty unmemorable, but it did the job and it created great set pieces. And I don't know who is to credit for that. I think Gareth Edwards probably had a huge hand canon that, but if the second that the action set pieces kicked into gear, it was like we were watching another movie of a great director, filming these sequences that were fun and exciting and good blocking. And the set pieces I loved most were the water ones when they're on the ship, being attacked by all the dinosaurs and they're trying to get the blood and they crash onto the island. That was fantastic. And because of the way they paced the movie and set it up, where like they have to get one of the sea dinosaurs, they have to get one of the big mammal dinosaurs, they have to get one of the flying dinosaurs. Like, okay, now we know the set pieces generally that we're going to do. And then it ends with kind of like a recreation sort of the ending of Jurassic Park with the velociraptors, except they're slightly different types of dinosaurs and they're on and going through tunnels. And then there's this giant, it looks almost like the alien from Aliens, because all of these things are like mutants. Like they've been genetically changed. We learned that the island is where they were testing experiments with these dinosaurs of altering their DNA. So this big thing looks like a kaiju. It looks like something out of Godzilla. And that was fun because it's just like, yeah, why the fuck? Like, let's just be silly. I liked the guy, the corporate guy who is evil, who pulls out his gun and is like threatening to shoot this teenage girl.
Oh yeah.
Like, if you want to win this argument or win this dynamic, maybe pulling out a gun immediately isn't the right way. That was very silly, but like cartoonish villain. It was just kind of fun.
Cartoonish villain, yeah.
It was fun seeing him die.
It was. I mean, he had a very quick death.
Also the river scene with the boat onto the river.
Oh yeah.
And the T-Rex is trying to kill them. That was a fun scene.
I'm glad that they actually ended up getting the boat, because for a second I was like, okay, so all that was for nothing. And I felt really bad for the little dinosaur. I keep going back to the little dinosaur, but I'm like, you are leaving the little dinosaur in front of this, like in an area where predators, and it was probably much safer in the other one.
I was convinced that the little baby dinosaur was the baby of the giant mutant dinosaur at the end.
They don't look alike.
I know, but I just thought, like, why is it it'll be something where it's like, oh, it's the mom and she just wants the baby, They aren't just trying to kill, we love animals. They just
want the baby. Here you go.
Yeah, I mean, do you have any other thoughts?
Nope.
All right. Way better than I expected.
Let us know your thoughts. And if you haven't watched it yet, let us know.
Let us know. Thanks for watching, everyone.
Bye.
Bye.